August 28, 1963, Washington, D.C. Over 250,000 people standing in the heat, waiting. And then a man steps up to a microphone. He is not the tallest person there. He is not the loudest. He does not have a massive following yet. He is just a young pastor from Atlanta. But when he opens his mouth, something happens that nobody fully understood at the time. 250,000 people fall completely silent. And in the next 16 minutes, he says something that changes the entire course of a nation. That speech was delivered over 60 years ago. And yet today, if you hear even the first few words, something would happen inside you. Your chest will tighten. Your eyes get heavy. Something moves inside you that you cannot fully explain. Why? Why does a speech from 1963 still make people emotional till today? Why does it still give people chills? Why does it still move millions of people who were not even alive when it was given? The answer is not luck. It is not just because the topic was important. Plenty of important speeches have been forgotten. The answer is psychology. Specific, measurable psychological triggers that Martin Luther King used, whether intentionally or instinctively, that make his speech impossible to forget. And today we are going to break down exactly what those triggers are and why they still work on your brain right now. Why does this speech still hit so hard? Before we get into the psychology, let us understand something first. Martin Luther King did not just give a speech that day. He gave a speech that rewired how an entire generation thought about justice, equality, and what is possible. But here is the thing. He was not the only person fighting for civil rights at that time. There were hundreds of leaders, hundreds of speakers, hundreds of passionate people saying similar things. So why did his speech become the speech? Why does everyone remember his words and not someone else's? Because MLK understood something that most speakers do not. He understood that emotion is not the opposite of logic. Emotion is the point. You can have the most important message in the world. You can have facts, data, and undeniable truth on your side. But if you cannot make people feel it, your message dies. MLK made people feel it, deeply, permanently. And he did it using 4 specific psychological triggers that are still relevant today. Not just for speeches, for any communication, marketing, leadership, storytelling, persuasion. Let us break them down one by one. Trigger 1, the power of shared pain. The first thing MLK did was something psychologists call shared pain identity. And this is where the speech gets dangerous. Dangerous in the best way. He did not open his speech by talking about what he wanted. He did not open with demands. He did not open with anger. He opened by talking about what everyone in that crowd had already experienced. Broken promises. Decades of being told things would get better. Watching generation after generation suffer the same way. Feeling invisible. Feeling like the system was designed to keep them exactly where they were. And the moment he said those words out loud, something shifted in that crowd. You could feel it. 250,000 people exhaled at the same time. Because for the first time, someone was not just sympathizing with them. Someone was describing their reality exactly as it was. Every single person standing there felt seen. They felt understood. They felt like finally someone actually gets it. This is one of the most powerful psychological principles in persuasion. When a speaker names your pain before they offer a solution, your brain immediately trusts them. Not because of what they promised. It's because of what they proved. They proved they understand. Think about this in your own life. When was the last time someone truly understood what you were feeling? Not just nodded along, not just said sorry, but actually described it in a way that made you stop and think, yes, that is exactly it. That is exactly how it feels. That feeling, that moment of being truly understood. It is one of the most powerful emotional experiences a human being can have. And MLK created that feeling for 250,000 people in the first 2 minutes of his speech. This is why shared pain works so well in persuasion. It is not manipulation. It is not a trick. It is connection. And connection is the foundation everything else is built on. Trigger 2. Painting a future. People can feel. The second trigger is what psychologists call vivid future visualization. And this is the part where MLK does something almost impossible. He takes an abstract idea, justice, equality, freedom, words that could mean anything to anyone, and he turns them into something you can actually see, something you can almost touch. After MLK acknowledged the pain, he did not just say things need to change. He painted a picture of what change would actually look like. And he made that picture so vivid, so specific, so emotionally charged that people could almost see it. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and truly live out the meaning of its creed. That all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. Every single line was a specific scene, a specific moment, a specific future that people could close their eyes and actually picture. Not a policy, not a law. A moment between two human beings sitting at the same table. This is incredibly important psychologically. The human brain does not fully distinguish between something it vividly imagines and something it actually experiences. When MLK described those scenes, the brains of everyone listening started to feel like those moments had already happened, like that future was already real, already within reach. And once your brain believes something is possible, it becomes emotionally invested in making it real. You will fight for it. You will sacrifice for it. You will do things you never thought you were capable of. This is why the "I have a dream" format was so powerful. He was not arguing. He was not debating. He was showing people a future they could feel. And once you can feel a future, you will fight for it with everything you have. This trigger works everywhere. In business, when you paint a vision of what a company could become. In relationships, when you describe the life you want to build. In marketing, when you show someone what their life looks like after they buy your product. The more vivid the picture, the stronger the emotional pull. MLK understood this instinctively and used it masterfully. Trigger 3. The rhythm that rewires your brain. Here is where it gets really interesting. And this is the trigger most people never notice, even though it is probably the most powerful one in the entire speech. Listen to how Martin Luther King structures his words. I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. That repetition is not accidental. It is not just style. It is a psychological weapon, and it works on your brain whether you realize it or not. Psychologists call this the illusory truth effect. When your brain hears something repeated multiple times, it starts to feel more true, more real, more believable. Even if you have never heard it before, repetition alone makes your brain accept it on a deeper level. This has been proven in study after study. But MLK took this even further. He did not just repeat words. He created a rhythm, a pattern, a musical structure to his speech that made it almost impossible to look away or stop listening. This is called anaphora in rhetoric. It is a technique where you repeat the same phrase at the beginning of multiple sentences or paragraphs, and it creates a hypnotic quality. Your brain locks in. Your attention stays focused. You cannot tune out because your brain is literally waiting for the next repetition. It needs it. Think about the last time you listened to a song and could not get it out of your head. Days later, still playing in your mind. You did not choose to remember it. Your brain just would not let it go. That is the same psychological mechanism at work. Repetition and rhythm rewire your attention. They bypass your critical thinking and go straight to your emotions. MLK essentially turned his speech into a song, and songs stick in your memory forever. That is why, over 60 years later, people can still recite parts of that speech word for word. The rhythm burned it into their brain in a way that a normal list of demands or arguments never could have. This is why the most memorable speeches, the most viral marketing campaigns, the most effective storytelling all use repetition and rhythm. It is not a style choice. It is a psychological strategy. And it works every single time. Trigger 4. Making it personal. The fourth and final trigger is something called personal stakes. And this is the moment in the speech where MLK stops being a political leader and becomes something else entirely. Father. MLK did not just talk about a nation. He talked about specific people, specific places, specific futures for specific individuals. He talked about his own children. He talked about what he dreamed for them. And in that moment, the entire speech shifted from something political to something deeply, painfully human. Because politics can feel abstract. Systems and structures and policies. People can hear about those things and feel nothing. Their eyes glaze over. They nod, but they do not feel anything. But when a father stands up in front of the entire world and says, "I want my children to grow up in a world where they are judged by who they are, not what they look like," that is something every single person in that crowd could relate to. Every parent, every child, every person who has ever loved someone. Everyone has something they love, something they want to protect, something they want to be better for. MLK made his speech about that universal feeling, the feeling of wanting a better world for the people you love most. This is why personal stakes are so powerful in persuasion. When someone connects a big idea to something small and personal and real, it stops being an idea. It becomes a feeling. And feelings drive action in a way that ideas never can. This is why the best advertisements are not about products. They are about people, about families, about moments that matter, about the emotional truth behind why something actually matters in your life. MLK understood that changing the world does not start with changing how people think. It starts with changing how they feel. And that is exactly what he did. Why this still works today? So here is the question. Why does a speech from 1963 still move people in today? Because none of these psychological triggers have changed. Not one. Shared pain still builds trust. Vivid future thinking still creates emotional investment. Repetition and rhythm still rewire attention. Personal stakes still make abstract ideas feel real. These are not communication trends. They are hardwired features of the human brain. They worked 60 years ago. They work today. They will work 60 years from now. Every great leader, every great marketer, every great storyteller uses these same triggers, whether they know it or not. MLK just happened to use all 4 of them perfectly in one single speech. And that is why it is still the most remembered speech in American history. Not because of luck, not because of timing, it's because of psychology. Our takeaway. So next time you hear a speech that moves you, next time you watch something that makes you feel something you cannot explain, next time words hit you in a way you did not expect, pause for a second. Ask yourself, which trigger just fired? Was it shared pain? Was it a vivid future? Was it the rhythm? Was it personal stakes? Because once you start seeing these patterns, you cannot unsee them. And once you understand them, you can start using them yourself. In how you communicate, in how you lead, in how you tell your own story. The psychology of persuasion is not a dark art. It is the language of human connection. MLK used it to change the world. Now you know how. If this changed the way you think about communication and persuasion, leave a comment and tell me which trigger hit the hardest for you. And if you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe, because we are just getting started.